What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the PT Coffee Cast, brought to you by The Movement. My name is Dalton, and alongside me today is my beautifully bearded friend, William. William, how are we doing today?
Doing fantastic. I know every podcast for the last 3 episodes I've been pointing out your socks, but I can't stop now.
Bro.
Because look at these. Can you see these?
It's coffee infused.
I mean, it's almost like you
knew
we were podcasting.
I'm trying to level up. Dude, and I have some new socks coming.
Dude, I'm so excited. I tried to do my best. At least they're not ankle socks.
Yeah, you're cozy. Yeah. Don't you feel so much more cozy now?
I really do.
Yeah, it's a game changer.
Yeah, 100%.
But guys, thanks for tuning back in to hear us talk about our socks. Maybe we'll become the PT Sock Cast now instead of the PT Coffee Cast. But we appreciate you guys tuning in for another episode. If you aren't subscribed to the podcast, make sure you do so on your podcast platforms. We just got done doing our clinical question series. We did 5 clinical questions that we like to ask. We broke those down. If you haven't listened to that, if you're new to the podcast, go check it out. I think it was I'm biased, but I think it was a good little series there with some good questions that you can pull out a lot of value from. So check that out. We're super excited about putting those together. And then if you guys want to see our lovely socks, make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel. We put out the full YouTube version of the podcast there. And then if you guys want to learn more about the mentorship, the movement mentorship, head over to themovementmentorship.com. We have all things mentorship there as well as our podcast stuff. But we're going to dive into our episode today. And Will and I have been in a bit of a content vortex the last hour and a half. And we're going to continue on with some acting, let's say, for this episode.
I'm ready, man.
Yeah.
Are you?
I get nervous about these things, you know?
You?
Yeah, because I'm not as good as an actor as you are. Like you are you got the skills, man. I think you could pull it off. I think you could actually be in a movie.
You think so?
I do.
Maybe I'm in the wrong career.
I do think you are.
Well, I've never heard that before, but maybe we'll see.
So what we're going to do today is we're going to highlight or give you guys an example of 5 things that we think are important to cover with clients before they come to see you. And we're going to show you that in some mock scenarios of phone calls if people were to call the movement, and how we would approach these calls to make sure that we provide people with these 5 things before they do arrive here. Now, as physios, new grads, students, you might be asking, well, why is this relevant to me? I'm not going to be answering the phone. Well, one, you might be answering the phone because we answer the phone quite a bit. But if you're not answering the phone and there's a receptionist answering the phone, we think it's very important to know what conversations go on with clients on the phone. And there are key things that you would hope and want that person to cover with your clients to set them up for success. And the examples that we're going to show you are some of the things that we believe should have the conversation that should happen on the phone before people come in. And then I think even if you aren't answering phones and you don't know what your receptionists are saying or the conversations that they're having, these 5 things you can cover with your clients before they come in via an email when they get booked onto your schedule. So there's a lot of tangible things you can take away from this, even if you aren't the one answering the phone. I wanted to cover that because I feel like that was going to be something that people would think, well, what does it matter to me?
Yeah, the bottom line is it really impacts how your session goes. And that's what we kind of want to highlight.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously, the kinds of things that you ideally want that phone call to involve.
Yeah. Should we go into it?
I think so.
All right. Scenario 1.
Beep, 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 beep. Ring, ring, ring.
Hello? The Movement Physio and Performance. Dalton speaking. How can I help you?
I was looking to book a physio appointment.
What are you looking for? What area hurts?
Oh, it's my knee.
Knee?
Yeah, my knee hurts.
Okay. When are you looking to get in?
ASAP.
Okay. What was your name?
Jack.
Jack, what's your email?
My email is jack@gmail.com.
Great. And do you have insurance, Jack?
I do have insurance.
Who's your insurance with, Jack?
My insurance is with Sun Life.
Great. How does 4 p.m. tomorrow sound?
That works for me.
All right, great. We'll see you then.
Bye. Click.
Scene 1.
End scene.
Do you want to go into the next one and then we'll chat about it?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay.
Ring, 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 ring. Ring, 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 ring.
Hi, thanks for calling the Movement Physio and Performance. Dalton speaking. How can I help you?
Oh, hi. I was hoping to book a physio appointment.
Yeah, we could totally do that. Who am I speaking with?
Oh, my name's Wally.
Hey, Wally. Nice to meet you. How you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you?
Good. I'm doing well. Is it okay if I ask you a few questions and see if we're a good fit for each other?
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool. Why don't you start off and take me through a little bit about what's going on?
Yeah, so basically I've been dealing with some knee pain. Yeah.
All right. How long that knee pain been going on for?
I think I want to say it's been going on for about 4 months-ish.
Okay. Yeah, that's quite a long time. Is that knee pain impacting anything in your life that's like meaningful to you?
Oh, yeah. I mean, how much do you want me to share?
Share as much as you feel like is appropriate.
Okay, well, yeah, I mean, it's really affecting my ability to go running. I started running in the pandemic because I wasn't able to get in the gym. So I picked up my shoes, got out there, really, really liked it. So I've been running for, a couple of years, but I tried, doing a little bit more speed training. And ever since I started that, my knee at the front of it it really hurts, like, especially at the start of a run. And then, I'll kind of like feel it the next day where it's actually starting to impact, like walking and stuff like that. So, I'm just worried like what's going to happen, with that. Am I going to be able to keep running or like what's going to happen?
Yeah, no, I get that, and I think it's awesome that you dove into running. During the pandemic, I had a similar journey myself actually, starting running in the pandemic, and I can definitely see how increasing some of that speed maybe led to some knee pain, and obviously we don't want to keep you from running, so that'll definitely be something we would dive into. Why is running so important to you?
Well, I think like what I realized is it really helps me with. I have a busy job, I'm a big shot. I'm a lawyer, and so like for me, I need that time to myself where I can, collect my thoughts. And so when I don't have that, I feel a lot more disorganized, a lot more stress, and I'm not able to be as effective at work.
Okay, so if I'm hearing you right, running's really important to you because it helps you have an outlet for some time to yourself and manage stress. As you said, you're a big shot and a lawyer, and you probably deal with, a lot of decisions that need to be made that have big consequences. And, something like running is going to give you some, relief from that stress and put you in the right direction. And obviously it helps with your physical health as well. Is that correct?
I think you pretty much nailed it on the head there.
Nice. Yeah. Great. Cool. So like based off what you're saying, like I definitely think that you'd be a great fit for coming here. Is it okay if I tell you a little bit more about like what you can expect with working with us?
Yeah, sure. I'd love to hear about a little bit more about the movement.
Yeah. So what we do is we would set you up with an initial assessment. So the initial assessment is 75 minutes in length. The cost of that session is $225 for the 75 minutes. During that time, you'd sit down with one of our physiotherapists one-on-one, and, most likely they would have a little bit of a conversation like we're having here. They'll obviously have the information that we talked about on the phone, but they'll want to get to know you and get to understand where you're coming from. And then after that, they're going to take you through a series of strength tests, movement assessment, just to see what areas are feeling good, what areas might be not feeling so good, and really try to identify the root cause of what's driving your knee pain. After they take you through that and identify what those problems are, then they're going to sit down and lay out a plan for you. And that plan usually consists of exercise and education around what's going on with your knee, why running's impacting it, and how we're going to work you through a rehab plan in order to get you back to running so that you're not feeling so stressed as a big wig at the law firm.
Okay, that sounds pretty good. I guess the next step is to book a session.
Yeah, I would love to book you for a session, but I have one more thing I want to cover with you if that's okay.
Sure.
Cool. So once you do the initial assessment, how we operate here is we operate a little bit different than most clinics. We have plan options. So we'd put you into a 6-visit plan, a 10-visit plan, or a 20-visit plan, really depending on what your goals are and where you need to go. What we have people do is we have them pay for those plans up front. So for example, if we thought that the 10-visit plan was the most appropriate plan for you, we would have you pay for that plan up front. So the cost of that plan is $21.75. That's going to cover all of your sessions with your physiotherapist plus your initial assessment, and is going to get you heading in the right direction towards getting back to running and not worrying about overstressing yourself.
Okay. That sounds good.
Any questions around that?
No, I think I'm good for now.
Cool. Last part I want to cover with you is obviously getting you in. So, when do you want to get in?
Let's go. How's Thursday sound?
Let me take a look here. Yeah, for sure. We have time Thursday. Would 10 a.m. work for you?
That sounds good.
Awesome. So I'm going to have you book in with our superstar physiotherapist, William Nicholson. He is worked with plenty of runners before, and I think he'll be a great fit for you. His dad's actually a lawyer, and I think you guys would get along really well.
Sounds good. Does he have a beard?
He does have a beard.
Then I'm in.
Great. So what we're going to do next is we're going to get you booked in. So what you'll get from us is you're going to get an email that is from our booking system. It's going to have you fill out a health history form so that we have all that information before you come in. And then the last thing is we're located at 118 Hatch Street in Dundas. You can park at the free parking we have in the back of the building. And then you'll come in through the parking lot doors, and on the right-hand side, our space is there. And our client experience manager, Lauren, will be waiting for you to greet you, and you'll have your session with Will.
Okay, is there anything else I should bring to the session?
Just make sure that you're in something that you can move really well in. We're going to get you working, probably sweating a little bit. So maybe if you want to bring a water as well, that'd be great. But outside of that, that's all we ask.
All right. Sounds good. What was your name?
My name's Dalton.
Dalton, thanks for helping me out.
Yeah, no problem. I'm looking forward to get you in with Will.
Sounds good. All right. Bye.
See ya.
Click. End scene.
That was a long one.
It was good. I wonder how long that was.
Too long. No, I'm just kidding. But I think obviously, clearly, if you're still hanging around with us, that was like there's a big difference between those two things, right? And when we say it was a long time, like we spend a long time with people on the phone. I would say Lauren sometimes is on the phone with people for 30 minutes, trying to make sure that all of these things are laid out so that it's a good fit for them and a good fit for us.
And I think there's obviously like a lot of detail in there, but there's some clear things that you were doing there to try to help, one, find out if they are the right fit for what we're offering, two, so that when they come, they're ready to go. It's not like they're not coming in for the wrong type of appointment. They're not coming into something that they aren't ready to pay for. They aren't coming in without realizing how the payments work. They aren't coming in without the right clothing. Basically, we want that session to go as smoothly as possible so that there's less time wasted on both ends.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about this plenty of times, but like surprises kill trust. And I think when you look at the first phone call example, which does happen quite frequently when you call a place, is there's a ton of surprises there that could kill trust on both ends, right? Whereas like when you look at the second phone call, which obviously was more detailed and we really wanted to contrast the difference between the two, but we do our best to try to cover everything so that there's no surprises, so that we know when that person comes in that they know what they're expecting and what they're getting from the session. And I think like when you look at the first example, it can be it can be frustrating for both parties, right? Like if you don't know the detail that we got about that individual and we just booked them in and they wanted to come and see a physio who had knowledge about running and knee pain, they walk into a clinic that just hooks you up to ultrasound, gives you a couple little exercises and doesn't even talk anything about getting you back to running. That's a shitty experience for that person, right? And that's not going to lead to success for them. It's not going to lead to success for the clinic, even if they are taking a different approach. So I would say even on that clinic standpoint, it's a failure because you're not even getting the right person in the door. Whereas if you're asking more questions and you start to find out like a lot about this person and it doesn't seem like that's a good fit for your clinic, then it's probably better that you don't have them come in, right? And you refer them somewhere else. And it's like vice versa with us, is like we're really asking a lot of questions and we're covering a lot of things on the phone so that people know how long our sessions are, what they can expect, the cost, because the cost is a lot more than most places, why the cost is that way, if they want to know. Like we're really covering a lot of those things, so that's all out of the way, so that when they come in, the only thing we need to focus on is solving their problem.
And so we kind of mentioned we're going to do 5 things, right?
Yeah.
So what's number 1?
This is a good question.
Do you want me? I think I know them.
No, I do. I do.
I got your back, just so you know.
Start with the first one. It'll trigger me.
So the why.
Right. That's it. Yeah.
Right. So you asked me about that to start, right? Like, why am I seeking physio beyond just like my knee hurts? Because that's obviously important, right? To know what the motivation is, like you said, to pair them with the right person or make sure that they're actually going to the right place. Just to have the person think about that a little bit, if they haven't, so that when they come into the session, they have a little bit of a better idea of what their goals are, beyond just my knee hurts.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think as someone answering the phone, or if you have a team answering the phone, like they're in control of that. So like someone's going to say, oh yeah, I just have knee pain. They're going to try to brush by it, where it's like, you can ask questions. There's a couple times in the conversation where you tried to move on from the conversation and I brought the conversation back to the things that I wanted to cover with you. And so I think that's key when it comes to the why thing, where it's like, if they're trying to rush through the knee pain thing, it's like, okay, let's bring that back a little bit and try to pull more out of that situation. So yes, I think like the why being number 1, number 2 being setting expectations, which is like trying to cover literally every piece of expectation that you can set for that individual so that there is no surprises.
And that's all the like how long the sessions are,
what you're going to be doing,
with, what you're going to be doing, like the cost, like you're going to talk, then you're going to establish goals, then you're going to go through a movement analysis, like that kind of thing.
Yeah, and
a plan.
And a lot of times questions will stem off that we normally get. Like I'm sure a lot of times we'll get like the insurance question, so you can set expectation about the insurance. You get a question about why do you charge up front, like those kind of things will come up, and we set all that on the phone, right? And then the details, I think, is the next one, which is one that I think gets skipped a little bit, but actually is important. And I did miss something, and your question like brought it back up to me. But like the details of like, where are they going to park? Is parking free? What should I wear? Should I bring a water bottle? Like those details. Where do I walk in? Who's going to be meeting me at the front? Like those things are actually super important to cover with people, because you want to make the experience as smooth and comfortable as possible. And for me personally, like the most anxiety I get around going places is like parking. Is like, where am I going to park? How am I going to park? Do I have to leave 10 minutes early to find a parking spot because I hate being late? Like those things are really what like makes me nervous about coming into a place. And then like, where do I go and who am I seeing when I get there? To be able to know all of those things is actually really important, I think, and makes the experience so much better.
Oh yeah, because think about it from like the client perspective, like if, let's say you have like a pay for parking, but you give them like a thing where they can leave without paying.
Yeah, like a free thing, but yeah.
But you don't know that going in, so you like get there and you see this like pay for parking, you're like, I don't want to pay for parking at my physio every time I go in. It's just like an added unnecessary cost.
So then they're coming in already just pissed.
Yeah. And when you could have addressed that right from the get-go.
Maybe not pissed, but a little bit frustrated.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. It's friction that doesn't need to be there.
Right.
right? Which we're just trying to reduce the amount of friction. And I think that's what like setting expectations and providing all the details does, is like reduces the friction, because you want to minimize that so that you can optimize the chances of like getting what you need out of that session, right? And actually having them achieve their outcome. You don't want to stop that before it even starts.
Yeah, and I think there is a lot of friction in general already when people are pursuing physio. Like, there are a lot of people who are fired up and want to pursue it, but there's a lot of vulnerability that comes with seeking help. And if we add more friction to that, it's going to be even harder to get people in the door and buy in and commit to working through a process that's very hard. So reducing that friction as much as possible is key.
And then I think we got basically just like
the last one is just like wrap it up. And, you know, usually a lot of that is like summarizing, right? Like summarizing or asking like what questions you have around what we just talked about. That way, like, we give them one more opportunity to kind of ask whatever question they have on their mind.
Which kind of ended up happening, right? I was like, oh, is there anything I should bring? Mm-hmm. Which then kind of prompted you to explain for me what to wear. Mm-hmm. And, you know, and I think that's a good way to end it always, because you're going to miss something.
Yeah.
Like, it just happens, like, especially if you're doing a call and you're not, you know, the client experience manager, receptionist, whatever. Mm-hmm. So yeah, having that wrap up and giving an opportunity to see if there's anything left.
Totally. Yeah, and I think like we just wanted to cover that because the more you can do that prior to someone coming in, the better the experience is going to be, and the more the focus can be on them and the problem that they have and the solution that you're going to provide them, right? And you know, we take people through this in the mentorship, and what I found really cool about when people went through this is obviously a lot of people have front desk staff. There was a lot of the mentees who actually took this information to their front desk and like had a conversation with them about it, just to get a sense for what they do talk about on the phone. And then we're able to like give them thoughts on some of the things that might be helpful for them as a clinician to have covered on the phone. Right.
Exactly.
And that was super cool. And that was with a couple of the mentees, that was very well accepted from the people they were working with, which is also really cool, but just goes to show you that like this stuff matters. And if you're working with a team, like your team wants to work together to make the experience the best that it can. Right.
Yeah. Most people want to do a good job, you know, and if they're not clinicians themselves, like they may not know that some of those things are going to help make the experience better and make you have an easier time. So you can kind of give them the keys there, and then they just got to unlock them.
Yeah, totally. And like I was saying on top of it, if like, you know, the relationship with your team or the front desk stuff isn't as great as it could be, which is a situation that does happen, you can take these 5 things and you can incorporate your own system by having a templated email that covers each of these things that you then send out to any new assessment that comes onto your schedule, right? Or you could even go one step further and you could call those individuals after they get booked on your schedule as a physiotherapist. Now, I get it. A lot of people are slammed, really busy, not going to have a lot of time. So there's options to it. You know, having a templated email takes very little time to like send that out, and it can be a very big beneficial thing to do to set those expectations for those people. So there's always ways around doing these things that are going to enhance the outcomes of your clients and the experience they have. And what will happen is the better experience you provide and the more outcomes you get, the more people are going to want to see you, and the more people that are going to want to see you, they're going to be calling your clinic or calling to work with you, or your schedule is going to get busier. People are going to start asking, why are people having such a great experience with William at the movement? And that's going to open up questions and opportunities for you to share and show the team and change the way that things are done in a positive way at your workplace. So there's always something that could be done.
That's it.
We got through that acting experience.
That's good. I thought you did a good job.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we're going to wrap up, guys. Thanks so much for tuning in. If you aren't subscribed to the podcast, make sure you subscribe on your podcast platform. If you want to see our beautiful acting skills on YouTube, head over to YouTube, subscribe to our YouTube channel. We put out all the podcast episodes there as well. And then if you guys want to check out more about the mentorship, head over to themovementmentorship.com. We have all things mentorship there. You can schedule a call with me to chat more about what the mentorship consists of, and if you would be a good fit for our next cohort. So check that out. Check the episode out. Give us your feedback. As always, stay caffeinated. Peace.